we're talking what's for dinner on Christmas Eve. I know a lot of people have their go-tos, but honestly, no matter what I'm making, I'm always sure that it's gonna be quick, it's gonna be tasty, and it's almost always the opposite of what I'm gonna be eating tomorrow and for the next few days as leftovers. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, we're gonna have the potatoes, the turkey, all the heavy stuff tomorrow, so I wanna keep things light and bright. So I'm gonna be making my roasted salmon with a pistachio gremolata with a wintergreen salad. Yeah, I'm very excited about it. Now, the thing I love most about this recipe, tomorrow is a day for mountains and piles of dishes. Today is not that day. We're gonna do everything basically in one pan and then one salad bowl just to keep things nice and breezy. But the first thing I wanna get started on is my salmon. So I've got a fillet of salmon here. I've actually got a whole side of salmon. This weighs about 850 grams. I've got one with the skin on. Now I wanna do a quick marinade on this salmon. So the first thing I'm gonna add on is about half a cup of my good friend dry white wine. You know? This is the one that maybe you broke into earlier in the day. Maybe you had it a couple days ago, sitting in your fridge door, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna pour over about half a cup of this, a loose half a cup, you know, you do you. All right, now the good thing about wine is there's a little bit of acidity in there, so it is going to start to kind of marinate this fish really quickly, which is exactly what I'm looking for. But we wanna add some more flavors into there. So the first thing I'm gonna add in is 3 cloves of garlic that I've smashed and just roughly chopped up. I don't want this super finely minced because I do kind of wanna wipe this away after. So add that on in. Gonna go in with the zest of half of a lemon as well. You don't wanna add the juice here though. The juice would almost kind of ceviche the salmon, which is not what I'm looking for. So just kind of get that zest right over top. Now, I'm also gonna go in with some oil. You always need oil to kind of carry flavor and just help everything get to know each other. So I'm going in with about a 1/4 cup of oil. Just dump it right on over. That's just gonna help carry, again, that garlic flavor, that lemon zest flavor. Now, I like a little bit of heat in my family, especially when it comes to salmon. So I'm going on with about a teaspoon of chili flakes. If you don't like heat, feel free to leave these out. You could go in with half a teaspoon, but I'm going big because I like things spicy. Guys, don't worry, that's a teaspoon. We're good, yes. Or it could be just like a teaspoon, you know what I mean? All right, now season that up with some salt. It's a big piece of fish, so you can go pretty liberal with the salt. And then the pepper, again, a little bit of a different type of smoky spice. Now, what I wanna do is give this a little bit of a flip, kind of like this salmon's flopping around on the deck, just to get all that delicious marinade kind of all over that salmon. So give it a flip this way, give it a flip that way to get the skin nice and coated, just in case you got any skin eaters in the house. And then flip it over and leave it flesh side down. What that's gonna do is it's gonna give it the most contact with that marinade, giving you a beautifully marinated salmon. Now, this is quick, I promised you quick. Usually when you hear the word marinade, you feel like it's gonna take a day and a half. You're gonna put it in the fridge forever. No, 15 minutes. Because there's a little bit of acidity in that wine, you don't wanna leave it too much longer than that, because that's gonna kind of almost pickle and preserve the fish, and we don't want that. So I'm just gonna go in. Ooh, this is gonna be heavy. Gotta put that one down. We have the magical, wonderful culinary elves here at The Good Stuff who already did this. Looking beautiful. So I'm gonna pop this one in the fridge. Again, 15 minutes, but if all you have is 5 minutes, feel free to just do 5. That doesn't close. What a day, everybody. The night before Christmas, you know? All right, now I have got this beautiful fillet of salmon, again, flesh side down, so it's got nice contact. Now I'm gonna flip this over, and you can see there's a good amount of garlic still on there. There's those chilies. There's a little bit of color change, but that's because of that acidity in the wine, but that's fine. Now, if you wanted to, you could also do this in a zip top bag and put this onto a sheet pan. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna, very precariously, so this is the only reason you might wanna switch it up, pour this marinade out, because we're done with it. It's done its job. So I'm gonna get rid of that marinade and just kinda dump most of it into a bowl just to discard. Not all of it, you don't need to get rid of all of it. Felt like I was winning a prize. Doesn't it look like a baby? Or like I just won Miss America. Very exciting. All right. Now I am gonna dry off the top of this salmon fillet just to encourage a bit more golden brown. If you don't do this, it'll poach a little, which is not a bad thing, but just dry off that top just to give it a little less moisture, because that'll give you, again, more golden brown color. Beautiful. Now I am gonna add a little bit more oil right on the top just to get things going. And then for this salmon, it only takes 15 to 18 minutes in a 400-degree oven. Super, super quick. So I'm gonna pop this in. And then while that roasts away and gets absolutely beautiful, I'm gonna make a gremolata. Now, a gremolata is kind of savory sprinkle. It's usually used on really kind of slow roasted meats. Really, really beautiful and tasty, and it's super simple to put together. So I've got a little bowl here, and into there I'm gonna go in with some pistachios. Pistachios are not normal in a gremolata, but it gives a bit of crunch, a little bit of a festive kind of charm. So I'm going in with a 1/4 cup of pistachios into my bowl. And then into there, I'm also gonna go in with some herbs. Now that is typical in a gremolata. I've got some basil here. He's seen better days, but he's doing his thing. So we're gonna eat him up, and it's gonna be great. So you want about a 1/4 cup each of some basil and some parsley. That's gonna give you a really nice flavor. I love the flavor of basil. It's a little licoricey, but in a good way, in my personal opinion. And again, parsley just tastes like the color green in the most beautiful way. So about a 1/4 cup of each. Give that a nice chop up. You can go as fine or as chunky as you'd like. I'm gonna go a little bit chunky today so you can see those beautiful, beautiful herbs. Give it a nice rough chop. All right, I'm gonna pop that on into my bowl as well. And then I'm gonna add on the zest of the other half of that lemon. I've got it right here. Give that zest in. Now, if you wanted to make this a little bit more like a chimichurri, you could also add in some lemon juice. That will make the herbs a little less bright and green, but this is gonna give you that lemon flavor without giving too much acidity or really any acidity. So it's gonna keep everything really bright and fresh. All right, lemon zest is in. I'm also gonna go in with 1 or 2 cloves of garlic, just rasped right in. You want it super fine so it gets in there. And it's Christmas Eve. You're not having anyone over that you don't know. It's okay if you're gonna eat a little raw garlic. It's gonna be a good thing. Tap that on in. Perfect. Season that up with some salt, maybe a little bit of pepper, and then you just wanna give that a toss together until it comes into a beautiful kind of sprinkle. This is essentially what a gremolata is. It's sprinkly, it's delicious. If you did want a little saucy consistency, a little bit of olive oil in there, a little bit of that lemon juice, that goes towards a chimichurri, but that's okay, you do whatever you want. But we're just gonna scatter some of that beautiful pistachio and delicious herby gremolata on top. There's some garlic in there. It's a little fresh. Again, I love a savory sprinkle. To be honest, I prefer a savory sprinkle to a sweet sprinkle, and that is probably a chaos statement, but I'm fine with it. It's the holidays. It's when you let people know how you're feeling. It's a good thing. All right, now, maybe not, yeah. I'm gonna save the rest of this, and you just serve it alongside to just add those bright pops, looking beautiful. Now, during the break, I was getting to work on this salad, a wintergreen salad. One of my favorite lettuces that I usually actually find more so in the wintertime is baby gem. So baby gem is like tiny little romaine hearts. They're so crunchy, they're so delicious. They're arguably the cutest lettuce I've ever seen in my life. And all you need to do, you don't have to tear them up, is just pop them off of their little kind of base and pop them into a bowl. I like leaving them whole. It's a bit of a knife and fork salad, but that's okay. I did this work, you can cut up your salad. You're feeling good. Now, I've also got some radicchio. I love radicchio. It's a little bit bitter. It also adds that beautiful kind of festive burgundy color that looks so bright and fresh. If you don't like a bitter lettuce, obviously feel free to leave this out. Or you could try chorizo, Treviso is like the longer radicchio, a little less bitter, very tasty. And then I also have endive. And endive always feels like I'm going to a fancy cocktail party and someone's gonna give me like lobster on this, like a little boat. Has that ever happened in my life? No. Would I like it? Yes. So I like adding those little spears in as well. Again, the white part is a little more bitter, but it's absolutely beautiful. Now I've got a dressing here that I've just made with a little bit of maple syrup, a little bit of Dijon, some apple cider vinegar, and then the juice from that lemon that I used on the salmon and in the gremolata. Some oils in there, and then I also have some shallot, because I love that little pop. It kind of pickles in the dressing. So I'm just gonna add that right on top. I like a well-dressed salad. Give that a little bit of a toss, and then you want to top it. Again, we've got sprinkles on the salmon. I don't want the salad feeling left out. So I have got some beautiful orange segments. You could also do a little clementine if that's what you're feeling, because I don't know about you, but my clementine consumption goes way up this time of year. Add those right on for some bright freshness. Again, to mimic that salmon, a little bit of some chopped pistachio. And then I'm never saying no to some feta cheese. I know we're having fish, and I know we're having cheese. It's fine. It's delicious. If you don't want to do it, you can leave it off, but I love it. Because feta cheese is just like the salt of the cheese world. This meal looks completely kind of anti what you're going to be eating tomorrow, but you've got the greens. You've got pink, which is kind of sort of red. You've got the burgundy, the jewel tones. You can make this work honestly so beautifully, and it's so easy to throw together. Then the best part is you get to take a little taste so nobody knows. Dunk it in that little bit. Do a little bit of this. And then you put a little lemon wedge there and no one can tell that you ate any of that salmon. Let's do that. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Right. It's fresh, the bitter. What a cup of tea. Oh my gosh, that's delightful. Now, I actually have some really exciting news to share. A few weeks ago, the Good Stuff team launched our very first holiday food drive. Now, throughout the holiday season, our amazing audience members, production team, and staffers from around the building brought in non-perishable food items. And thanks to your generosity, our bin was absolutely overflowing on the first day. Now, I'm so pleased to announce that we donated over 2,000 pounds of food to the Food Rescue Charity Second Harvest. Now, that is some good stuff, and we couldn't have done it without you, so thank you truly from the bottom of my heart. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.